Welcome back to guys in my YouTube channel. I hope you guys doing well. In this lesson, we're going to take a look at package management. Let's get started. Package management tools, and here are the 4 things that we're going to talk about, but first let's talk about what a package is. A package is a collection of the files needed to install an application. So prior to packages, applications were installed via the source code. Source code was placed on the local file system, and then the binaries were compiled on the host or on a host of the same architecture and moved over. Sometimes you would find that the application did not compile correctly, or that it needed additional applications or additional libraries and files to be able to function. So package management was the solution to this. The 2 types of installation packages we're going to be looking at are DPKG or Debian package and RPM or the Red Hat package manager. These are 2 of the most popular package managers, and then by extension apt-get for our DPKG or Debian-based systems and yum for RPM-based systems. So just to reiterate, a package is a collection of the files used to install something. That something could be documentation or could be a fully functional application. Now let me be clear about one thing before I start getting into the narrative around these. The 2 we're looking at in this lesson are DPKG. These are going to be .deb files, and RPM, which are going to be .rpm files. You would not install a .rpm. You would not install an RPM package on a Debian-based system. You would not install a DPKG on an RPM-based system. So that solves the problem of getting the source code and getting the binaries installed on the system. Where we get into apt-get and yum, and this will be more clear as I click into these and talk around them, as these manage the packages on the system. So apt-get and yum will keep up with what's installed on your system. They will also make use of repositories where you can pull software from, and that's something we'll get into here in just a moment. So all that being said, let's take a look at DPKG or the Debian package. DPKG, short for Debian package, is a package archive format containing some package metadata. Deb files are packaged installation files for Debian-based Linux distributions. Package files are designed to make the installation of programs easier by containing the files necessary for the installation, as well as some of the metadata around dependencies. Let me talk about this for a second. Let's say you have a package and you want to install it, but it requires other packages to be installed. So an example of that may be some sort of DNS lookup package. It requires other DNS library packages to be installed before it will work. So what it requires is a dependency. That package is dependent on something else being installed first. Not so long ago, kind of in the earlier days of Linux, there was a cyclical issue you could run into with installations called dependency hell, where you wanted to install an application and it required this other application, and then that application required this other application, and really what it was an absolute rabbit hole that you had to go down to find these root level dependencies and then work your way backwards. It was no fun. So back to the topic at hand, DPKG. Debian-based systems that rely on DPKG files for package installation can take advantage of APT or Advanced Package Tool for managing packages and the dependencies. Let's talk about apt-get for a moment. Advanced Package Tool or APT is a free and open source interface that works with the core libraries to handle the installation and removal of software packages for Debian-based systems. APT simplifies the installation by automating the retrieval and validation of software packages as well as their dependencies. So without APT, you could fall back into the dependency hell rabbit hole of I have a DPKG file and I'm trying to install it and it's telling me it needs something else, and so I go find that something else and I try to install it and it needs something else. APT will look through its repositories, which we'll talk about in a second, and it will pull in all of those dependencies for us, thus managing all of the installations of DPKG applications or packages on the system. APT permits the user to easily search for and install packages from repositories or directories containing software packages in an index. These repositories can be local or accessed over a network. So a repository is a collection of packages, and we can configure apt to look at different repositories. So in my Ubuntu installation here, there's going to be some default repositories, or we call them repos. Default repos, where I can get official Ubuntu packages. If there was something that was not available in the official Ubuntu repository or repo, I could use a different repository, maybe one that was not supported to pull other applications in that were not provided by the default Ubuntu installation. So a repository is a directory or a location with package files, as well as an index so that we know what's in there. Lastly, for apt-get, various GUI frontends or graphical user interface frontends are available for working with apps such as Synaptic or the Ubuntu Software Center. So I have the Ubuntu Software Center here. I'll click on Applications, I'll come up here and I'll search for software, and here we have the Ubuntu Software Center. It'll take a moment to pop up and I can see what applications are installed. I can see what applications I might have updates for, and I can go and I can search for additional applications. I can then install them right from here by clicking Install, and this is what I mean by a GUI frontend available for working with apt. So let's talk about RPM-based systems. A lot of this is going to be some very similar, and here just for reference, I have the Debian logo and the Ubuntu logo here under dpkg and apt-get, just as kind of a reminder that these are Debian-based systems that are way more Debian-based systems than Ubuntu. So RPM, the Red Hat package manager, while originally used by Red Hat systems, RPM is a package management system used by a wide variety of Linux distro. dpkg uses .deb files, RPM uses .rpm files, and just like a deb, an RPM file is an archive of package installation files, as well as the metadata containing dependencies and installation paths. Most RPM files are binary RPMs containing the compiled version of this software for installation. However, source RPMs are available containing the source code for local compilation, and just as dpkg systems may use apt for package management on the entire system, RPM-based systems may use yum. So a lot of similarity between dpkg and RPM. Next, we have yum, the Yellow Dog updater modified. So just as apt-get will manage all of the dpkg installations on the system, yum will manage all of the RPM installations on the system. Yum, or the Yellow Dog updater modified, is a free and open source command line package management utility for RPM-based Linux systems. Just as apt for Debian-based systems, yum allows for automated updates and package dependency management. So they both solve the problem of dependency hell. They both manage dependencies. Also, like apt, yum makes use of software repositories or repos that may be locally accessed or available on a network. So just like with apt-get, we configure repos or repositories for our software installations. Where do we want to pull the software from? We do the same with yum. A rewrite of yum named DNF has replaced yum as the default package manager for Fedora systems. Remember, Fedora is kind of the cutting-edge consumer version of Red Hat. DNF was created to improve upon yum in several ways through better performance, better dependency resolution, and easier integration with other applications. And so that is why Fedora is listed as an RPM-based system, but not listed as something that uses Yellow Dog updater modified or yum. So some common RPM-based systems, of course, are Red Hat, Fedora, CentOS, and OpenSUSE. That wraps up this lesson on package management and tools. Please subscribe, like, share and comment on my YouTube channel. Thanks for watching.